I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out.
Here's my resume.
But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's a lie. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
real-world experience.
it's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe, it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network, where tonight we are proud to be bringing you the Sim Racers Club Premier Series, taking on the Kansas Speedway. My name is Chris Graham, and joined in the booth, as always, by Mr. Patrick Byrne. And I'll tell you what here, Patrick, we got a massive update to the iRacing platform yesterday. I talked to the drivers a little bit in the pre-race. They say things don't feel totally different, but you never really know until you line them up side by side.
Yeah, the cars didn't get a huge update, so I don't think they'd feel terribly different. I don't think we got any major tire updates or anything. However, we did get one major update that's going to affect us tonight, and that is the addition of the restart zones. So no longer is the rule go any time in between the pace car hitting pit road and that checkered flag or the green flag coming out. Now you have a defined box, same way NASCAR does it each and every weekend. And that's going to spice things up. Maybe if some drivers aren't aware, or if some drivers haven't practiced the restart zone, they got to change up their strategy on these restarts.
Yeah, there's actually, it's a pretty significant change when you look at it, because the rule used to be go on green, but second place couldn't beat the leader to this mark, the start-finish line. Now the way the rule works, you basically, once you're in the restart zone, once the leader goes, second place can go right with them, and they can beat them to the start-finish line. However, the one big exception to that is on the initial start of the race, when the leader does not control the start. It actually is up to the iRacing platform to decide when it throws the green somewhere in that start zone.
Now, of course, that's not enforced totally, where the leader can still go as soon as the pace car comes in, and the leader can jump and go and hit the line. However, many leagues, just like this one, they go on green. Of course, it's hard to figure out exactly when the green flag came out, but usually it's pretty obvious the leader jumped, and usually there's a set small area, and it'll come out right about where this restart zone is right here. You can see that Geico written on the inside on the apron there. That is your restart zone tonight.
It will be interesting to watch for sure as we see Tyler Seville getting on the binders here into turn number one. And
I believe he's just mowing the lawn there today.
Yes, he's doing a little bit of the landscaping work for the fine folks out there at Kansas Speedway. Taking a look here at the point standings as we enter tonight's race. Johnny Avila is your points leader, sitting on 284 markers. Only 35 back is Kevin Dick. What makes this a story is Johnny Avila will not be here tonight. He will have a replacement driver running for him this evening. Going to be Jeff Yanish, and let's see if Jeff's not currently on the racetrack, but Jeff Yanish going to be piloting in the place of Johnny Avila. However, I don't think Johnny Avila is going to earn the points for this one. So we could potentially see a new points leader as we exit tonight. Really kind of shakes things up here as we get towards the halfway point of the season, because it seemed like Avila was just starting to open up a pretty sizable gap, and now he's going to have the night off.
However, Johnny Avila was talking a little bit in the pre-race, saying his replacement driver is pretty good, and he has won the races here before. So if his replacement driver gets a win, that denies any of these other drivers in the points from getting that win and closing that gap even further than they can. So
that's exactly right.
Close.
And quite frankly, last season, Yanish making a 4-wide move to win the race. Yeah, we'll take that. By the way, just getting the word from Race Control here, the stages tonight, well, we can give you a little bit of information here. We'll do it on the cool little graphics that we build up for you. Tonight's race is at the Kansas Speedway, located in Kansas City, Kansas. 1.5 miles in length, 17 to 20 degree progressive banking. Opened in 2001. Tonight's race, 6th round of the championship, going to be 117 laps in distance. The stages are going to be at lap 30 and lap 65. Lap 65 will have the caution, the end of stage number 2. The restarts are going to be double file, and the overtime attempts are unlimited. Here's where things get very, very interesting. 60 to 65 laps is going to be the fuel window for tonight. If you go into full fuel save mode, you may have a chance to make this a one-stop race. Otherwise, likely going to be a two-stopper with that stop coming at the end. One right towards the end, middle of the race, and then one coming at the end of stage number 2. Tire wear, not a huge concern here for these drivers tonight, as we're already starting to get some cars setting quick lap times here, and we'll pick up Kevin Dick. And we'll throw up the timing tower so you can see where your favorite is. Kevin Dick in at a 31.45 second lap. 31.446 to be perfectly accurate. Dick going to be your quick timer. Jacob Williams moves up to second quick. 31.481. New quick time. Corey Silva, 31.357 on the lap chart. Mike McConville looks like he is also out on the racetrack. Let's pick up guy who's had a pretty decent season thus far. On the right-hand side of your screen, going to be Richard Fletcher. On the left-hand side of your screen, we'll get Will Worsler up there as well. Fletcher going to move up to 6th quick. Andrew Moore to 3rd. Troy Haight to 2nd quick at a 31.31 flat. 31.329 the lap time for Andrew Moore. As we are going to see Richard Fletcher down to the inside of the racetrack. We'll pick up Mike McConville, the number 57, and he makes his way out onto the racetrack. The other big change here, Patrick, is they've changed the way qualifications are enforced, and that really is a pretty big deal. What we're now seeing is that we've gotten rid of the brake dragging, the weaving, all the goofy crap people were doing in qualifying.
Yeah, which the part of me that wants to win races says darn, but the part of me that sits up here and gets to watch this guy go says hell yeah. Because no longer do you have your fast guys taking advantage of stuff and going even faster, and your slow guys having no idea what they're taking advantage of. everyone's back on the same playing field. So you're really going to see your fast guys still be up there, but not by as huge margins. We might be able to see some of the lower guys come up and kind of surprise us a little bit in qualifying.
We've got a
Not
new
only that, we're at a track like Kansas, where I think I see Tyler Seville smacking the wall a bunch of times on his qualifying laps. That's going to invalidate those.
Well, he got one of them in 31.139, 31.139 seconds for Tyler Seville. Mike McConville going to be in at 31.31 with a 5, 31.315 seconds. 31.541 for Will Wursler. Rick Javorka making a move up into the 4th position at a 31.306. Some different names and faces, and one of the big changes that we heard about these cars is McConville goes P3 to 31.266. AJ Digby going to be up to second quick as he's going to be finishing his qualification run. Digby 31.168. 31.168 seconds around the Kansas Speedway. Still about 0.03 of a second off of Tyler Seville's quick time, but Digby looks to be fairly safe. As we'll pick up Tony Patton here as Mike McConville makes his way in. Thus far, have not seen Tim Knott, Scotty Grove, Corbin Simmons, Jeff Yenish, Zach Calloway, or Evan Black on the racetrack yet for qualifications. One of the other things I heard about the way the car changes a little bit is it's a little bit less snappy on corner entry off throttle, but the bigger change is the driver's right foot and steering wheel inputs are going to make a significant difference in how the car drives off the corner. Kind of middle out is where they were seeing the biggest change. That can really be tough at a place like Kansas because that'll push you right up towards the outside wall.
Yeah. However, Kansas, you don't have to worry about it as much exiting turn 2 because this is one of the few tracks in NASCAR without safer barrier the entire way around. You have a little bit of extra breathing room exiting the corner because there's no safer barrier on the backstretch here.
Yeah, so the corner effectively widens out by about 3 feet with the way the steel and foam energy reduction barrier, SAFER is actually an acronym, basically piles of foam blocks lined up in a triangular pattern or pyramid type pattern. They get stacked between whatever existing wall is there and steel tubes, or you can have the SAFER barrier installed as a kind of a prefab thing where the old, especially this is the way they do it for new racetracks that are built, where basically each of those piles of foam have their own separate piling, which really makes the wall a lot safer, and there's a lot more give to it. But it does, on some of the older racetracks, it does eat about 3 feet worth of racetrack surface. So kind of interesting here that these drivers will have that extra space to work with here as they make their way off of turn number 2. As we wait for the qualifications to wrap up here, let's take a look and show you the point standings entering tonight's race. And it will be Johnny Avila sitting on 284 points, Kevin Dick 35 back, Roger Rios 44 back in the 3rd position, Andrew Moore Jr. and Tyler Seville will round out the top 5. And with Avila not in the show tonight, this is really about as good of an opportunity as anybody's going to get to make up some ground on Johnny Avila, who's been the dominant force now for basically 2 seasons. Down inside the final 2 minutes here before tonight's race gets underway, and looks like Tyler Seville will be pretty comfortable here at the top of the speed charts. 31.139 seconds will be the lap time of record. Seeing Mike McConville checking in here in the comments. Let's get to this one real quick before he climbs into the race car. Big Mac saying the car is a lot more durable now with the update, so you can hit the wall and it won't kill you. Woo for me. That was one of the things we were talking to some of the Will Wursler guys in advance of this one. And it sounded like the issue with the way the car was set up previously was that you could kind of pancake it up against the wall. So hit the entire right side with like a glancing blow, and it would just junk the right front corner of the car. The update seems to have made it where you're going to do less right front damage, but it's also going to suck you into the wall. There was a little bit of a grip hack, apparently, where you could kind of give the wall a glancing blow and pick up speed in the process. That's been taken care of. You don't want to hit the wall, basically, is now what the drivers are telling us, is there is a bit of an actual penalty to it.
Which is good, because other than Carl Edwards, it actually might have been here, however many years ago, tried wall riding to make a pass, and it just doesn't work in the real world. And I'm glad that we see that in the sim finally, where hitting the wall hurts you. It should hurt. It's a wall.
That's exactly right. There should be some penalty to that. Tyler Seville checking in saying, WWR front row. 90210 checking in saying, pancakes. Yes. McConnell saying, I will Carl Edwards for the win if needed. Yes. Thank you very much, Mike. We're looking forward to that show a little bit later on here tonight, but it is now time to go racing. Go ahead, buddy.
Mike, just to remind you, Carl Edwards didn't win that race. He tried dive bombing Jimmy Johnson, bounced off the wall, and Jimmy Johnson still passed him and won the race. So, avoid that. Try and stay in front. If you're going to try it, at least take out the guy you're trying to pass.
That was absolutely epic, though. He went full like NASCAR 2003 on the turn 3 wall here.
And that's what he said in the post-race interview. Yeah, it worked in the video game last night.
Mike Conville saying, big meaty sends. Yes, that's what we want to see. Let's take a look here at the starting grid for tonight's race, and it will be Tyler Seville lining up alongside of AJ Digby, Kevin Dick, and Mike McConville on row number 2. Brad Allison and Rick Javorka on row 3, with Troy Haight and Tony Patton on row number 4. Andrew Moore Jr. and Corey Silva on row number 5. Row 6 is going to have Daniel Pinkston and Hunter Waters. Row 7, Richard Fletcher and Will Worsler. Row 8, Max Williams and Jacob Williams. Justin Sumner and Richard Smith on row number 9. Row 10 will have Jeff Yenish and Evan Black. All these cars from Yenish on back not logging a time in qualifications, including row number 11, Scotty Grove and Tim Knott. And on row number 12, rounding out tonight's 24-car field, Zach Calloway and Corbin Simmons. The 24 cars getting ready to do battle here at the Kansas Speedway. There's a great look at your pole sitter, Tyler Seville. Mike McConville putting on a little bit of a show. He's getting the tires fired up already. Field's going to get ready to roll off a pit road, and it is go time here at the Kansas Speedway. What do we expect here? Oh, wait, hold on. Great question here from 90210. So now that Kimmy has been announced in the 91, how likely do you think it will be that Ricardo will be in it full-time next year? Not a chance is my answer.
I was about to say not a chance. He has stated multiple times he absolutely loves watching NASCAR racing. However, he has no plans to do it anytime in the future.
Seeing Johnny Avila...
It's too unsafe.
Yeah. Seeing Johnny Avila checking in, saying he practiced with Tyler last week and he had really good long-run speed. Watch out for him. Yeah, no real surprise there that Tyler Seville would have good long-run speed. Field is going to make their way off of turn number 4. And we will get ready to see the green flag this time by the start-finish line. And as always, race fans, the start of this one, going to be all yours. already off at turn number 4 to put lap number 1 in the books. It will be Tyler Seville holding on over Kevin Dick, but Dick going to try to slide it in up there on the outside of turn number 1. A.J. Digby, Mike McConville still side by side. Pace laps at 160 mile an hour off of 2.
And it looks like the High Line is preferred line tonight. Which, I don't have a lot of laps at Kansas, but I always thought Kansas to be kind of a low-line track, but it seems like these guys are enjoying the High Line a little bit.
Yeah, one of the interesting things that we heard in the pre-race was that you were actually looking at 0.1 to 0.3 additional gallons of fuel per lap running the outside lane. If your plan is to try to make this a one-stop race, you almost have to be on the bottom and commit to that right from the very start of this thing.
Now, what I'm reading here, however, is it makes sense as to why the High Line's so much faster. This track's got pretty aggressive progressive banking with 3 degrees more banking on the top side. It ranges from 17 degrees at the bottom to 20 at the top, and that'll absolutely rocket you off these corners.
You're going to be faster off the corner. The question is, can you make the fuel last the entire run? Yeah, Johnny Avila checking in saying it's like Homestead. There's some speed up high.
Now, what I was going to say is Kansas isn't like our other mile and a half. Cautions are not uncommon here at Kansas. It's very narrow, especially when you compare it to some of the other tracks like Kentucky or... I'm trying to think of another wide one, but there is a huge margin for people to mess up and take a bunch of cars out. So I don't know if you have to worry so much about playing the fuel game unless you're fairly confident that there's not going to be many cautions in this race. See, Mike McConville shooting well below the apron trying to get underneath of Kevin Dick. That is something you're allowed to do here at Kansas, or really any of the NASCAR tracks other than Daytona and Talladega. You're allowed to cut the course a little bit in the tri-oval.
Oh, we've got one up in the wall. That's going to be Troy Haight sliding along the outside retaining wall down the backstretch.
4 wide trying to get around that car.
Oh, man.
And he is still slow, and cars are having to move all kinds of out of the way just to get around him.
That was insane. I don't know how they didn't wad anybody up behind him. But that's going to drop Troy Haight all the way back to the 17th position. Battle for the lead is still a pretty good one here. We'll flip these over, get the battle for the lead. Well, see, I say that. And McConville goes for the dive bomb down into turn number 3. So battle for the race lead on the left-hand side of your screen. We're continuing to follow along with Troy Haight. See if he can make any progress back through the field here on the right-hand side of the screen. Before we get too deep in this one, have to shout out a huge thank you as well. P&P Lawn Care out of Lebanon, Tennessee. Putting some cash up here for our top 3 finishers tonight. $15 going to the race winner, $10 for second, $5 for third. And that payout is in addition to the regular race winnings that these drivers have the potential to get as well. I think we're starting to see the strategy game play out a little bit here. There you see Tyler Seville already 1.7 seconds back of your lead pair.
Not only that, this is uncharacteristic for Tyler Seville, but his best lap is about 0.3 slower than Kevin Dick and Mike McConville's best laps.
Yeah, the difference is I think Tyler Seville's trying to make this a one-stop race.
That's why I'm saying it's uncharacteristic for him. He can definitely go faster. He's just not pushing the car at all. He's kind of just staying just close enough to where if he needs to make a move, he can, but not pushing the envelope.
Yeah, and we're seeing a little bit of the same here out of Mike McConville. 31.91 the last lap time for Kevin Dick. 32.31 the lap time for McConville. Now, I wonder if McConville isn't listening in on the broadcast here.
You know, if he types up a message to send us while driving this car in second place here, I will be thoroughly impressed. And no, Mike, you can't do it under yellow.
Johnny Avila checking in. Man, I wish I was out there. It looks like a blast with the update. Yeah, it looks like these guys are having some fun here. As now we'll flip things up here. We'll show the race leader on the right-hand side of the screen as Mike McConville starts to fall back towards Tyler Seville just a little bit. We'll make that the battle that we feature here in the small box. On the right-hand side of the screen, going to go a couple of positions up here. Pick up A.J. Digby. He's down to the inside of Andrew Moore Jr. The comments are absolutely fantastic tonight. Let's see. First, we'll pick up Nikki Worsler. Now we got the comment from Miss Nikki up on the screen here. Hey, let's go WWR.
Say that 10 times fast.
I barely got through it once, so you're not going to get me to say it twice.
Oh yeah, as Tyler Seville is coming by Mike McConville, it seems like he's found the loud pedal a little bit. He's pushing a little bit harder and trying to get by some cars.
90210 saying, sometimes you got to go slow to be fast. Sun Tzu, probably.
Absolutely. Alain Prost read The Art of War before he started his Formula One career. And obviously it did him well. He won a couple of championships. He's regarded as one of the best out there. Sun Tzu and racing have a lot in common.
I don't even know if Sun Tzu was actually a real human, but we'll go with it.
I believe he wrote The Art of War. Well, actually, The Art of War is by him, but whether or not he's a real person, it's the same thing as whether or not Shakespeare's a real person, or just a group of people under that name. It's very philosophical.
Philosophical would be the word there, and thank you very much for falling into a hole of your own digging there, Patrick. We appreciate that one. So we work lap number 16 here this evening. A little bit surprised here that what we're seeing towards the front anyway is Tyler Seville is pretty quickly catching in Kevin Dick for the race lead. Good battle here back in the pack as well, but we'll focus in on your race leaders because that battle is about to get a little bit spicy here. You almost wonder, did Tyler Seville hit a point where he figured out that he can't make the fuel number? And if you can't make the number, you might as well go like hell then.
Yeah, if you can't make the number, it's a lot easier to go and pass everybody, put everyone half a lap down, and then when you need to make pit stops, you got plenty of time to do it.
Yeah, you kind of can dictate your own strategy from there. As Seville looks to the inside of Kevin Dick through 3 and 4. Oh, man, Dick may have bounced it off the safer barrier on the exit of the corner. Doesn't look like there's much damage on that 52 machine. Maybe a little bit of a scrape there up on the right front, but okay, 90210 with another question for us. Do you guys think McLaren will swap Danny Rick for a Ward next year? I think that is only a possibility if Pato wins the IndyCar Championship. It's the only way he has enough super license points.
I would definitely say out of the guys in the IndyCar grid, He's definitely one of the ones that would probably do pretty good in Formula One. I don't know if he'd get on the same level as Verstappen or Hamilton. However, he would definitely get solid points finishes there. And that's really kind of where McLaren is at as a team.
Yes, they should be pretty solidly looking for P4 in the points at this point in the constructors. And quite frankly, there isn't that much of a battle for them for P4 in the constructors either.
Yeah, it's been Ferrari and Red Bull all year, but Mercedes is making a bit of a comeback. It might be too late to win the championship, but it might be just early enough to shake things up a little bit.
It's going to be fun. That's what it's going to be. Let's slide a little bit further back in the pack here. Pick up Mike McConville and AJ Digby. McConville way off the pace at this point. He's now going to lose the third position, or at least battle with AJ Digby for the third position. But these guys are now 2.5 seconds behind behind Tyler Seville in second, and about 2 3/4 seconds behind your race leader. You wonder if McConville potentially may have cooked the tires off a little bit with some of the early battles, but
either cooked the tires off, or now he's flipping with Tyler Seville and going, hey, maybe I can hit the number.
Yeah, and he would have to give up a lot of time in the process to do that as well.
I was going to say, with how much time you're losing on the racetrack, is it really worth it to hit the one-stopper?
Maybe if you have everybody a lap down.
I mean, but the one-stopper strategy only works if we go flag to flag with no yellows.
Correct.
The second the yellow flag comes out, you have to throw that strategy out the window. And if you're sacrificing all this on a what-if, an improbable what-if at that, I don't know if it's worth it.
Man, I don't know. I think it's a very interesting look here because we are already close to the end of stage number 1. That will come at the end of lap number 30. 90210 saying that he could get an exemption if he comes second in the championship. I don't think there is such thing as an exemption to the super license rules. The only way that Pato can get the super license would be if they start having him doing Friday practices on the regular, because he needs a certain number of kilometers driven in the current car.
I tried reading up just the ways to get a super license, and it's just confusing.
It's buckets. It's buckets of points. It's not as complicated as it's made out to be, but at the same time, okay, looks like there we go. Grab the right computers here. 90210 saying, I'm sure Jimmy Johnson in his prime could do it on a one-stop.
Well, that'd be a lot more Chad Knaus coaching Jimmy going, hey, you save a little bit here. We can make it on the one-stop. I'm sure Jimmy's not in the car like these guys are trying to do the math on the fly.
No, lots of engineers and really smart people sitting in his ear doing that math for him, of which we are neither. Meaning neither smart nor working for Mike Conville. So the battle for the lead here is kind of staying pretty consistent. Kevin Dick holding on to about 1/3 of a second lead over Tyler Seville. We're following along on the big screen with the 03 of Brad Allison. He's got Rick Javorka and Scotty Grove just ahead. Jeff Yenish and Troy Haight right behind. Grove, your hard charger of the race, already up 10 positions from where this race started. And it looks like McConville going to lose another spot here. Actually, he's lost a couple of spots. We'll slide forward here, pick up Will Worsler and Mike McConville on the right-hand side of your screen. Hunter Waters now coming past McConville as well. Definitely in slowdown mode. Last lap for McConville, 33.85 to the race leaders, 33.16. In fact, everybody ahead of McConville, anywhere from 33.12 to like 33.30. McConville at a 33.7.
He's either saving or just driving slow, and he's not a slow driver, so I'm going to put my money on saving. Tell you what, we'll hop outside the turn 2, stop at Hollywood Casino, and I'll put all my chips on red and say he's saving.
Brian Jones checking in on YouTube telling us to get Hunter Waters on the radio at the end of stage 1. We'll think about it. We haven't talked to Hunter yet this year. 90210 saying McConville losing spots like I lost money to my ex-wife in the divorce.
That'll happen to you.
Yeah, they'll come back. They'll come out and get you. Battle for the lead is starting to heat up here, so we're going to pick that one up here on the right-hand side of your screen. Actually, we're going to go full screen with this one because Tyler Seville is right up under the deck lid of Kevin Dick into 3. Stage number 1 is complete. Mike McConville barely holds on to some stage points, but he's down 5 spots from where he started the race. Kevin Dick took the green and white checkered flag for the win in stage number 1. Seeing Daniel Pinkston making his way out of pit lane after a 25-second pit stop. So very likely that Pinkston may have had some contact with the outside walls. One of the things that I absolutely love that iRacing has managed to model, and it seems like model fairly accurately, is the gap that you can maintain between the outside wall and the corners. That is, you're not rubbing the wall, but you get the car right up. The closer you get to the wall, you'll actually build a little bit of speed because of the cushion of air that develops there. That's something we've seen Kevin Dick use a little bit here already in this race.
And that's one thing I've seen explained at like Pocono Raceway, where the instructor will take the car right up to the wall and then show the passenger in the seat kind of turn the wheel to the right, trying to go into the wall. And the car won't go into the wall. That cushion of air keeps the car off of the wall. So long as you're not going kind of head on into it, as long as you're riding just off the side of it, that car will not hit the wall and allows you to plant your foot even harder into the throttle and really throw that car through the corners.
Seville going to be, no, not quite clear down to the inside of the racetrack, but he'll have the lead at the line immediately. Kevin Dick going to come right back past, though. Dick going to hold the gap up there at the top through 1 and 2. Seville gets the shorter way around bonus around the bottom, but Dick going to carry so much more momentum off the corner. These guys really are running, I mean, they're almost identical lap times. The 5-lap average is separated by 5/100ths of a second. Oh, that was a big wiggle.
Kevin Dick a little wiggly off that corner. Oh, man. That could have been very sketchy, but he saved that car pretty well.
Yeah, did a nice job holding on to it, and quite frankly, it's allowed Tyler Seville to open up a pretty monster gap here. So we'll slide back through the pack just a little bit. Pick up Tony Patton and Corey Silva battling for the 7th position. Kind of right about where they started. These guys have run together all night long.
Now, Johnny Avila's replacement driver, Jeff Jentz, I'm wondering if he has a trick up his sleeve or if he's just kind of saving out and he's trying a one-stop strategy, because his fastest lap of the race so far is a 31.8, which is about 7/10 slower than Kevin Dick's fastest lap. So I wonder if he's just been kind of laying
hold
off,
on to it.
just taking it easy. Oh, man.
Silva clipped the grass just the slightest little bit, and that car started to go around.
Yes, these cars are not Jeeps. They're not 4x4s, and you can't run them through the grass like that.
So, folks, let us know in the comments who's your pick to win stage number 2 here. Is it going to be Tyler Seville? Will it be Kevin Dick? Dick has already started to close the gap back in a little bit. Seems to have leveled off slightly here at about 1.5 seconds. Another good battle brewing deep in the field here. Max Williams, Justin Sumner, and Tim Knott. Ooh. Let's go on board here with Tim Knott down the front straightaway. Pretty interesting here, Patrick. It doesn't sound like a ton of brake being used. It's kind of like there's just a little bit of a lift off the throttle, and that's really all you need.
Yeah, these cars are, until you push them over the edge, a lot grippier than the old Gen 6 cars. So you can really throw them into the corners a lot deeper, and you can exit the corners a lot harder. So long as you don't cross that line has gotten a lot finer with these cars, but so long as you don't cross it, you can push the cars way harder.
Ooh, almost a little bit of contact there with the 22. That's Daniel Pinkston up on the high side of the racetrack. Tim Knott just back behind here. And slide a little bit further forward. We'll pick up Hunter Waters and Tony Patton. These guys all running, they're about a third of a second apart, and that's kind of what we're seeing for a lot of these gaps. Left-hand side of your screen will have Mike McConville working to the outside of Troy Haight. 90210 checking in here again. Let's get your thoughts on this one, Patrick. He says, can I just say something? I really dislike stage racing. However, like this, I'm totally fine with. Award points on certain laps like they do in the Endurance Series and some of those sorts of things. What are your thoughts on the stage break as a concept?
I don't hate it. For traditional racing, like if F1 went to stage racing, I wouldn't really like that. Same thing with IndyCar or any of the other ones. NASCAR, however, especially in the more recent years, I've viewed NASCAR more as a spectacle or entertainment more than I have traditional racing, which a lot of you might disagree with, but that's just the way I see it. And especially to get more fans in the modern era, I don't hate it because it associates racing more with stick and ball sports. Now, racing is way different from your normal stick and ball sports. However, being able to pick up a fan who's used to baseball, who's used to football, and get him in the off season and go, hey, we've got this great thing on TV. We've added these rules. We have a playoff system. Everything that's easy for you guys to follow and transfer to, and it's great for people who are just casually watching. Then when NASCAR comes down, go to your track and you go, hey, I've been watching that guy on TV. That's great. I'm going to buy his merch. And that gets people into the sport. I wouldn't want it across all motorsports. However, having it in NASCAR, easily accessible to everyone. And then after being in the NASCAR, people get into sports car racing, they get in IndyCar, they get into the other more serious forms of motorsports. It helps grow the fan base as a whole. So while the diehards might not like it, it helps grow the sport, and that I do not hate.
Well, the comment that just came in says, but it's artificial. I don't agree that it's artificial, because that would be the equivalent of saying the end of the first quarter in football is artificial, or the halftime break is artificial. Now, the 2-minute warning, yeah, that's artificial. But
yeah,
it gives, and this is something where TV has really abused this, it gives television the time to run. You can build in the ad break, which to the broadcast partner, that is guaranteed revenue slots. In theory, this race that's gone 49 of 117 laps clean and green, we could theoretically have to show a commercial and go away from the racing action because people have paid money to have their ads run. When you're talking about a $10 billion a year sport like NASCAR is, that's a lot of money that you're throwing away. So you build a couple of commercial breaks in, gives people a chance to hit the head and grab a beer and a sandwich or whatever it is. It's not necessarily the worst thing.
Yeah, I think it's the farthest thing from artificial. It would definitely be artificial if they went to, I don't know, Daniel Suarez's crew chief and was like, hey, you guys are in the lead. Just let me know when you want us to throw the caution. That would be artificial. That would be like WWE. However, all the drivers, all the teams know when the caution are going to come out. They can build their strategy around that. Everyone is still on the same playing field. Everyone is on the same racetrack playing by the same rules.
Yep.
And it just changes up the strategy.
By the way, we missed this in the middle of our discussion here. Will is in second. Would you look at that? Wonder if he finally likes the car. I'm going to guess no.
Oh, he definitely still hates this car. But he's figured it out. And hell, if I'm running for points, I hate the car. But I'm doing pretty good right now. My opinion on the car might change if my run would continue like this. So if Will finishes good this race, finishes good the next couple, I could definitely see his opinion change. And that's something we might have to talk to him about on the stage break.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him about it because last race, I should say, he lost 4 spots in the points. This is a good way to start clawing back some of those losses. The 5-lap and 10-lap averages, by the way, are both ticking in the favor of Will Worsler as well. The gap's sitting right now at 1.6 seconds. The 5-lap average, a 33.43 for Tyler Seville, 33.37 for Will Worsler. Almost identical over the 10-lap average. The 15-lap average is about a 10.5 in favor of Will Worsler. So he's gaining. We'll see if he can get there by the end of the stage. And then the other big question becomes, can anybody make it, or are they going to have to come in here early? Troy Haight already on the pit lane. Corbin Simmons on the pit lane taking pretty extended repairs. And the very interesting one right now, he's a couple of laps down, but Daniel Pinkston stopped at lap number 30. He'll get a lap back for the lucky dog at the stage break, then take the wave around. I think that's how that would work. No, the lucky dog will come at 1 to go, right?
I believe so. Actually, I believe the lucky dog might come sooner than that. Yeah, the lucky dog comes sooner because after you take the lucky dog, you're able to come into the pit lane and basically get your free pit stop. Because whether you pit or not, you're going to be the last car in the lead lap anyway, so you might as well take it. There's no gain, no loss. It's a free pit stop.
Take a look here. We'll show Jeff Yenish in the 89 running the Bulldog Roofworks graphics on the side of that car that we so commonly see on Johnny Avila's number 63 machine. Yenish giving the colors a good run this week. Currently up 10 positions to run in the 9th position. Not the hard charger of the race, though. That goes to a guy a couple of positions ahead in Scotty Grove. Pilot of that number 55 machine. Oh, man. Both of those guys having a little bit of a wiggle. With the 7 of Hunter Waters, and the caution is out. Yellow flag is out at lap number 56.
Now this gets interesting. Will we still have the stage break lap 65 then?
That is a fantastic question. Here at lap number 57, caution flag coming out for the first time. Mike McConville, and this really kind of blows up the strategy for Mike McConville. Basically forces him to pit with everybody else here on the lead lap.
Now, I think the drivers are in the same boat as we are. Do you pit now, and does another caution come out? Or maybe some of the guys staying out are hoping there's still that caution at lap 65, and I'm going to make up a couple spots. I'm going to be ahead of these guys, get my stage points at 65, and then come into the pits.
That's what we might be seeing Scotty Grove doing here, as he's elected to stay out on the racetrack. So Scotty Grove will be your race leader. And Hunter Waters is going to be the first car off of pit road. A lot of cars electing 2-tire stops here. That's an interesting call as well. Hunter Waters taking 2 tires, as did Tony Patton. Tyler Seville doing the full 4-tire change. Corey Silva taking 2. He'll come out in the 5th position. 6th to Will Worsler. 7th, A.J. Digby. 8th, Andrew Moore. 9th, Kevin Dick. And 10th, Rick Javorka. Kevin Dick with a 23.85 second pit stop. So obviously a little bit of repair work that needed to go on there. This is certainly going to make things interesting. Some drivers electing to stay out. Daniel Pinkston is one of them, which means he'll get the wave around. That will put him up to lap 57. Very likely that he is going to be the lucky dog at the next caution if we get one. Second in line going to be Hunter Waters taking 2 tires, as did Tony Patton. Tyler Seville, the first car with 4 fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles on that car. This definitely is going to be a little bit different here, especially for guys like Seville, Worsler, Digby. They took the full service here, which to me does 2 things. One, it locks you into a 2-stop race. Plus, you're going to have to contend with some cars that are not necessarily going to be as quick as you might like them to be on the restart.
So just getting word from race control, we will have another caution on lap 65. So some of these cars that stayed out, as long as they can hold off some of the previous leaders of the race that did pit, including Scotty Grove, Hunter Waters, Tony Patton, they're going to get some pretty good stage points here. So long as they can keep the lead, basically till lap 65, they just got to go 5 laps without getting passed, and they're getting much better stage points than any
stage
of our
points and
normal
track
guys in
position.
Seville.
That's the other
Yeah.
huge one, is having
Well,
clean
the
air.
thing is, they're going to have to pit here on the stage break. So they're going to go behind all these cars that just took the pit stop. However, if you know this isn't a track you're good at, getting the stage points really helps.
Yeah, it's kind of a chance to pick up some freebies along the way. So Fields coming off at turn number 4. What the heck? We'll give you another one here. Y'all at home, you go ahead and crank it up. First lap in the book since the restart. Scotty Grove already back to the 4th position. And to answer the question of how much tires are worth, there's your answer. Tyler Seville already back up to the race lead. Will Worsler to 2nd. AJ Digby to 3rd. And Kevin Dick already up to the 4th position. What a drive on the restart by Kevin Dick. So now we're going to get a 4-car shootout here for the stage points. Worsler able to clear Seville off of turn 2, and Digby's going to come right with them. Seville may end up losing the 3rd position as well, as we're going to put lap number 64 up on the scoreboard. 2 to go here in stage number 2. It'll be the 1 to go mark here in stage number 2. Will Worsler's going to have the lead. Kevin Dick outside of AJ Digby. Almost had the pass cleared into turn number 1. He is using that outside lane to full effect. Ooh, not quite clear. Now he gets him right about the entrance to turn number 3. Digby going to have the look back to the inside. Off of turn number 4, green and white checkered flag will go in the air, and Will Worsler gets the win in stage 2. How about Kevin Dick by half a hood length? Caution flag is out for the conclusion at stage 2.
And the guy who hates this car more than anybody else has finally gotten a stage win in this thing.
Yeah, we'll give him a moment here to set up strategy, but so now then the question becomes, who elects to come in and when do they come in? I would imagine these drivers that took the 4-tire service 9 or so laps ago, they will not be coming in. We know for sure. Let's see. Max Williams is on his way in, as is Hunter Waters, Tony Patton, Jeff Yenish, Evan Black, Corey Silva, Jacob Williams, Mike McConville. So everybody now will have made at least one stop. And let's see if we can't sneak in a quick word here with Will Wursler as we are under the caution flag. And I'll tell you what here, Will. Congratulations on picking up the win in stage number 2. Do we still hate this car?
We don't hate it tonight. They did a update. iRacing updated the car, and it at this particular track on this particular night, it's driving the way I want it to drive. So it's been fun. I've been sick and very busy here lately, and haven't had a chance. I really didn't get any practice in, just a couple of laps, and can't believe it's turning out the way it's turning out.
Yeah, you're up 13 spots from where you qualified. It's been a fantastic run so far. What do you have to do to keep these guys behind you at this point?
Honestly, I'm still not even worrying about it. I'm just going to pretend that everybody's laying back and letting me get some points here. We'll see how it goes. You know, some of these guys might have saved some tires right now. We'll see how strategies play out. But I mean, I feel like it's been, you know, the line that I've kind of found and the way I've been running it, it's been working good for me, and especially long in the run. And we stay green, I think things will should go my way, and I'll hopefully get top 5 out of it. So.
All right, buddy. Well, Will,
Oh,
congratulations.
you're too humble. Go for that checkered.
Yeah, congrats on the stage win here, bud. We'll let you get ready to go back racing, and good luck in the second half.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
So there you go. There's Will Wursler. Let's see. Yeah, well, you know what? Let's take a look here. Let's try talking to Hunter Waters here as well. Well, if I can get everything squared up here anyway. There we go. All right, Hunter, this is Chris Graham up in the NRN booth. Hopefully you got a copy on us here, bud. And, man, I'll tell you what, the viewers want us to talk to you, but that car looked pretty good. What are you thinking, though, after having run a handful of laps there on just 2 tires?
I couldn't imagine who'd want to talk to me, but I didn't take any tires that time. Wanted to keep an extra set in the pits just in case something kind of happens here at the end. Found that I had a lot of speed kind of in that mid to late portion of a run after about 16, 18 laps after saving. So see if we can kind of do that again further back in the field and maybe take advantage of a late race caution with some extra tires.
All right, bud. Man, I love the insight there. Thank you very much. We appreciate you checking in with us as well. The paint job is absolutely epic, by the way. And
yeah, shout out Jordan for that.
Here we go. All right, we'll get you back to the Will Wursler Racing room here. As these guys are getting ready to go back to green flag racing. The Hunter's Fried Pickles, number 7. These guys are doing it to me again. They're making me hungry.
Fried pickles sound good right now. Why don't we head on down to B-Dubs after this race is over and pick up some fried pickles?
That sounds fantastic. Fried pickles, hot wings, and beer. That sounds like a perfect, what is this, Wednesday night? It's good enough for government work.
Depending on traffic, I'll be down in 2 hours.
Yeah. So Field's going to make their way off at turn number 4. The second half of this race going to get underway with Will Wursler at the head of the field. Kevin Dick lined up alongside A.J. Digby, Tyler Seville, and Drew Moore, the rest of your top 5. As once again, we're going to see the restart zone rule come into play. Wursler able to get the jump. It honestly doesn't feel like a huge change from what we saw in the past. However, once the leader goes, you're kind of free to go as second place. That will absolutely come into play late in this race. At least if we have a restart, anyway.
Kevin Dick trying to make a run on Will Wursler now. Will Wursler diving underneath the apron, trying to save everything he's got. But it seems like Kevin Dick is really just not giving up. He's going to make the run on the high side, and he's clear before we even get to the backstretch.
That car is absolutely on rails right now. Kevin Dick back to the race lead. He's already led 33 tonight. Tyler Seville's led 24. Will Wursler has led 10. Seville going to be on the outside of A.J. Digby. They'll have Tim Knott, Justin Sumner, and Andrew Moore right behind as well. Now Seville having a look to the inside of Will Wursler. That middle lane that Will's running might set him up to be good late in the run, but it kind of leaves both prime passing opportunities available to everybody else in the field. A.J. Digby going to have to contend with Tim Knott looking to the high side of turns 3 and 4. Ooh, that got a little bit tight off the corner there. Tim Knott's already had one issue tonight. He's towards the back of this back of race cars. They're on the inside of the racetrack, just about 3 wide through 1 and 2.
Tim Knott, so far your hard charger of the race at this moment. He is still charging on. Next he's got to chase down Will Wursler, Tyler Seville, and then Kevin Dick to take the lead. He is not far from the front anymore.
Now, and this pack of cars is already starting to catch up to Will Wursler. Will's going to want that last set of tires back on the car here, I think, if he could make that happen. But everybody should have a set of Goodyear Racing Eagles still left in the box. Man, look at that. What a pack of cars off of turn number 4. Should have at least one, they should have one set of tires left in the box for late in this race. Man, there's only so many times that inside lane can just slide up in front of the outside before you're going to have contact. Right in the middle of this battle is Jeff Yanish. Take a look. We'll go on board with Jeff here.
Like Johnny Avila was saying about his replacement, he's not afraid to just stuff it in there full send.
Yeah, it shoved Tim Knott up the racetrack.
And he is still 3 wide and not backing out. He is a newcomer to this series and showing everyone what he's got. He might be a ringer, but he's proven it.
Ooh. Tim Knott, A.J. Digby, Mike McConville almost making contact. Caution is out.
And caution is out on the racetrack.
Trouble on the racetrack. We'll clear out of the side-by-side here. And, well, it looks like we have several cars that may have had an issue here. Let's take a look. We'll pick up a little bit deeper in the pack here. Oh, big hook there. Andrew Moore going to be involved in that one. He spins down to the inside of the racetrack.
I believe in pinball, that would have been like a triple combo. He had everyone coming. Nobody got by him.
Tough break here for Scotty Grove. Well behind the incident. Well, maybe not that tough of a break. That's how you do it. Get down to the infield grass.
And that's what we see at Kansas. Typically at the 1.5 miles, you only have 1 or 2 car incidents. But Kansas is a different beast. You have the cars racing like this in such a tight pack, and you get 5-6 cars involved in the incidents. It's pretty rough racetrack when you start crashing.
Rick Javorka and the 03 of Brad Allison were the initial cars to make contact there. Take a look and see. I don't think Richard Fletcher had to take the tow, as did Brad Allison. Again, Richard Fletcher, he is the cartoon anvil this season. Let's take a look, see if we can see what happened here to Fletcher. He was trying to come to pit lane. We go back to the live look, and how about this one for a development? Kevin Dick on pit road. If you don't think the race leaders can make it the rest of the way, now's a fantastic time to shore that up for yourself. We're down to 35 laps to go. One caution may not be enough to get the race leaders to the end of the race. We'll take a look here. I forget who this is, but Sim Racing Realtor checking in the comments. The restart zone really helps with the stack up in the back, because when the leader goes, the green flies. So it's not like you have to wait. It's sort of how it worked the old way in iRacing, but you could get penalties, etc. Now, once the leader goes, the flag drops, and everybody's clean to pass on the outside.
In the old days, the leader would go anytime between the pace car going in and the green flag coming out. If he went when the green flag came out, it was no issue to the guys in back. But if he went as soon as the pace car dived in, it would be 3 seconds or so before the green flag would actually come out. And if you're one of the guys in the back, you're good on the restarts, and you see the leader go and you get the jump, you'd have to wait 3 seconds before you could pass a car. And that really just hurts you. But now with the restart zones, as soon as the leader goes, the green flag is shown, it's fair game to anyone. You're not allowed to do whatever you want, however. You have to pass the cars in front to the outside, which means if you're on the bottom, you could pass the cars up the middle, or you could pass the cars all the way on the high side. It's just passing on the outside of your lane you were given. If you're on the outside, you had to pass all the way against the wall. But before, if you got a huge jump, you had to smash on your brakes, and if you were 5-6 rows up from the dead back of the pack, you saw the leader go, you hit the gas. Everyone behind you's hitting the gas. Then when the guys in front of you are sleeping, you got to smash back on the brakes because the green flag hasn't come out. You can't pass those guys yet, and just like a rubberneck on the highway, everyone hits the brakes a little later and a little later and a little later until 3 rows from the back you have cars rear-ending each other, and best case scenario, nothing happens. Worst case scenario, you wreck a whole bunch of cars.
So following that round of pit stops, and we see Jacob Williams back on pit lane. Everybody from first place Tyler Seville back through 6th place AJ Digby, stopping at lap number 57. From Hunter Waters back to 11th place Evan Black, all of those cars stopping at lap number 67 or 68. They should, put big fat air quotes around that, be good to the end. The only cars at this point that we know of are good to the end on fuel right now are 11th place Kevin Dick, back through 17th place Daniel Pinkston, who is now back on the lead lap after these caution flags. So sort of like we have 3 separate strategies that are in play. The guys that are very iffy and probably can't make it, the drivers who are kind of coin flip if you can make it or not, and then another group that knows they're good to the end. This is going to be an interesting one to watch here as the rest of this race develops. Into the restart zone, Tyler Seville is absolutely long gone on the start. He absolutely skunked Will Worsler on the outside. Worsler going to be able to hold on to the top spot. But man alive, we have got a dogfight going on back behind him. Jeff Yenish up on the outside of the racetrack, as is the 49 of Justin Sumner. Worsler getting swallowed up a little bit here as he works the inside lane. How about Mike McConville and A.J. Digby battling side by side? That's going to be 5th and 6th. All of a sudden, the guy who was quick in practice, quick in qualifying, and the strategy caught him out, he's right back up into the game here. And McConville is one of those cars that maybe-ish can make the end of the race. Following along here with Jeff Yenish as he's got Mike McConville and Justin Sumner battling side by side right back behind him. I have to say a huge thank you also to the sponsors of the Sim Racers Club here tonight. Sim Speed Shop, custom paints and diecast. Make sure you check them out on all the social platforms. Also, simspeedshop.com. Pretty cool prizes going out the door here, including, I believe, there's button boxes, steering wheels going out, all sorts of stuff. Make sure you check them out for all of your sim racing needs. Little bit of a surprise here, and this may be the fuel conservation game, but Tyler Seville and Will Worsler are not checking out like we saw in the first two stages of this race. Already inside of 30 to go, and Jeff Yenish going to make the move on Will Worsler in turns 1 and 2. He'll get the pass cleared. McConville going to slot right back in behind the 29.
Now, Johnny Vila's stunt double here, Jeff Yenish, has a much different strategy than Johnny Vila. Johnny Vila is usually right up there fighting with Tyler Seville the entire race, leading and dominating the whole race. Jeff Yenish, however, seems to have laid back the whole beginning of the race, felt everyone out, and really took his time, and now he's up towards the front and showing them what he's really got.
This is what I love about the progressive banking, especially the big change that we see here at Kansas. There are 3 distinct lanes you can run around this place that are all about the same speed. As Jeff Yenish going to make the move outside for the lead. Oh, and Worsler's going to force Kevin Dick all the way down to the grass.
Kevin Dick's going to make the pass, though. I don't know if I'd call that a pass in the grass, but I'd definitely call it a pass. He is up to P3.
And Will Worsler
as he makes moves on Tyler Seville. Not quite able to make it, but he's going to dive down to the inside in turn number 3, and it looks like he's cleared Tyler Seville now. He is in P2 very securely.
Man, and Kevin Dick can absolutely run away and hide at this point, too. He stopped at lap number 81. Down to 25 to go. This kind of looks like it could be Kevin Dick's race to lose here at this point. The other car showing some muscle here. He had an early issue. That's going to be Troy Haight in the number 28 up on the outside of the racetrack. He stopped at lap 82. He's good to go to the end as well. Quite frankly, looks like it may have been the right call to stop late. However, these guys have likely used up their allotment of tires. If we get another caution flag, the cars that pitted at 50s, the mid-50s and the mid-60s, they're all going to come in and stop. That's only going to leave a handful of cars ahead of them and however many lap pressure tires on these cars a little bit deeper in the field.
Kevin Dick is now running away from the field. I don't want to say running away. However, he's over half a second up from Troy Haight and picking up time slowly.
Let's pick up the comment here. This is Jordan Barry, by the way, one of our race admins. Don't forget about Northland Leisure. Yes, one of the other sponsors coming in this season to help pay the bills here for the Sim Racers Club, Northland Leisure. Great battle back in the pack here. Pick up the side-by-side here, and we'll keep an eye on both your race leaders and this bat a little bit deeper in the pack. Troy Haight not making up much ground here. The gap sitting pretty consistently at about 0.6 of a second behind race leader Kevin Dick. Jeff Yenish now sitting 3 1/4 seconds back of the race leaders, but he stopped at lap 67. He's got to make this fuel last to the end if we don't get another caution flag. Big swing there by the 92 of Evan Black, looking to the inside of Mike McConville. Brian Jones checking in with a nice compliment for us, saying, great broadcast tonight. Well, thank you much, sir. We appreciate that. I'll tell you what here, Patrick. Things have really started to settle down a little bit towards the front of the pack. The gap's now 1.5 seconds from Kevin Dick back to Troy Haight. So we'll pick up this battle a little bit deeper in the pack.
Hunter Waters really closed in on Tyler Seville and really presenting a danger to him. Now, if these guys keep passing Tyler Seville, and especially if they get by Kevin Dick, Troy Haight, but I don't think they'll do that. But even still, just passing Tyler Seville, one of the best in the series, that's going to further build the gap and make it harder for Seville especially to catch up to Johnny Avila and really try and close in this points battle in the championship.
Yeah, this is not the way Tyler Seville wanted to see the strategy game play out tonight. He is the top running car that stopped at lap 57 as Hunter Waters makes the move down to the inside. Waters stopping at lap 67. I don't... If this thing stays green the rest of the way, Seville has got to be in massive fuel save mode. You're talking about having to try and go, what, almost 70 laps? No, I'm sorry. It'd be about 63 or so laps. That's still a big ask. Seville now going to work on Hunter Waters for the 4th position as we are down to 15 laps to go. Man, an absolute dog pile of cars right back behind your leaders here as well. Headed up by Will Worsler, Mike McConville, Justin Sumner, Tony Patton, Max Williams.
Oh man, Mike McConville taking a little bit to the rear right there.
By the way, the lead for Kevin Dick over Troy Haight now is up to 5.3 seconds. This is pretty much abject insanity. Brian Jones asking, is this an every Wednesday thing? I could get used to tuning into this. Yes, it is. At least every night that the Sim Racers Club runs. Also have live content every Monday with the Fuel Premier Series running the B-Class cars. Most Tuesdays we have the TNT Shock Series running the PM18s on ovals. Thursday nights we have a triple header, the High Side Hustle, talking real-world dirt racing action, followed by the Ezra IndyCar Series, which are always fun races. That's one of my favorite series to broadcast. And the PM18 Officials Series as well. They will very likely be returning in the 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time slot.
Where is Ezra this week?
The Challenge Series at Belle Isle. The DW12s at Belle Isle.
Very tempting. You might see me on track tomorrow night.
Great interview, by the way, coming up on the High Side Hustle tomorrow night. We recorded that one earlier tonight. Chase Stockin, the former Iron Man of USAC, getting ready to preview the Eastern Storm for the USAC AMSOIL National, USAC NAS Energy National Sprint Car Tour. Either AMSOIL or NAS, one of them. They will be heading out to Pennsylvania, New Jersey next week. Cannot wait to see those guys. Going to slide a little bit forward here is Evan Black and Tyler Seville are going to go toe-to-toe down the front straightaway. Seville going to be able to clear the 92. Going to bring Jeff Yenish with him. Will Worsler right there as well. Worsler thought about going 3 wide up the gut. And down to 10 laps to go. Now 9 to go, and the lead is starting to shrink. What was a 5-second gap is now down to 4 1/4, call it 4 1/3, as they work their way through 1 and 2. Oh, and the 92 of Black bounces it off the safer barrier in the middle of turn 2. We'll see how that's going to affect the race car. And Jeff Yenish, I wonder if he's not a little worried on fuel here, as that car is starting to fall back. 4.69 seconds the gap as it stands right now between Kevin Dick and Troy Haight with 8 laps to go. We'll pick up this battle. Get it to you in the side-by-side with Worsler having to look to the inside of Evan Black as we hold on to your race leader. Brian Jones saying that Chase Stockin lives 5 minutes down the road from him. Yeah, judging by the profile picture, Chase has been doing a lot with his kids riding the dirt bikes this year and getting them into dirt bike racing a little bit. Pretty cool to see the small world stuff going on here. Check in tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in the East for that interview. Evan Black looking to the inside of Will Worsler at the entrance to turn number 3. Tony Patton and Jeff Yenish are going to be right there as well. Oh, and there's contact!
They're right there.
Big hit! Patton goes around. Caution is out.
Makes it out of there.
Caution flag is out. Heartbreaker for Tony Patton. trying to get that car spun back around. The 92 of black, kind of the ringleader on that a little bit. Oh, man, Will Worsler hard into the outside safer barrier there. He did not get away with that one. Tony Patton having to take the tow back onto pit lane. And with 5 to go, I don't think we're going to get to overtime just yet. Man, is this going to be interesting. Does anybody come down pit road and take the set of tires? Oh, Dick and Haight stay out on the racetrack. Almost everybody else is coming down pit lane for tires. Andrew Moore Jr. is going to stay out as well, but we'll follow the pit stops here. For Hunter Waters, Tyler Seville, Will Worsler, and the rest of your leaders. 2 tires we saw earlier in the race was not the way to go. Yenish going to be down and away very quickly. 9.77 seconds. Likely a 2-tire stop there for Jeff Yenish. Tyler Seville on his way out of the pit lane. That was close with the 7 of Hunter Waters. But on their way out of the pits, it will be Yenish, Seville, Waters, McConville, Worsler, Digby, Sumner, and Williams. Also, Tim Knott, Richard Smith, and Jacob Williams coming off pit lane. But man, do we have drama out here on the racetrack. See if we can't sneak a quick word in here with Kevin Dick, our race leader. And Kevin, did you sort of feel like that was a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation?
I don't know. I felt like tires were sort of the thing to do. I was hoping we'd get that nice long green flag run, which, I mean, it was going, but that caution I did not want to see.
Yeah, at this point, what do you do? Is there anything you can do to hold off some of these drivers that have taken either 2 or 4 tires?
Hold on for dear life. I mean, I don't really know what to do. I'm trying to get as good of a jump on the start as I can, and we'll see if I can hang on for it.
All right, bud, sounds good. Which team am I dragging you back to, by the way?
High-eyed.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, sir. Sorry about that. So there you go. There's Kevin Dick saying basically it's hold on for dear life. He's going to have some help, though. Troy Haight and Andrew Moore also electing to stay out on the racetrack. And we are heading to overtime.
Oh, man.
Kevin Dick.
I don't think anyone is super close on fuel, though.
No, nobody's close on fuel anymore. The problem now for your top 3 is everybody else has sticker Goodyear Racing Eagles, and your top 3 have tires that are 32 or 33 laps old.
I don't know. We saw Tyler Seville make a huge run earlier on brand new tires versus those guys in the top 3.
Kevin Dick made an almost 30-second pit stop and went from 13th or 14th to the top 5 in just a lap and a half. These guys at the front could absolutely be sitting ducks. But Kevin Dick and Troy Haight have both shown a ton of speed tonight. Dick was able to run away and hide early in this race. Troy Haight recovering from bouncing off the outside wall. That's 2 very quick cars. And by the way, Andrew Moore, a guy who's top 5 in points, and it seems like we never talk about, he's right here in contention for this thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's only, 2 laps they have to run, but Jeff Yench, Johnny Avila's pick, and Tyler Seville are both up there in the rows behind on brand new tires. Maybe if it was some mid-pack guys or even tail-end guys up there on new tires, I'd say this would be pretty close. But with those two up front on the new tires, I don't think these top three have a chance.
Green flag back in the air. Kevin Dick gets a fantastic restart. Not so much for Troy Haight on the outside of the racetrack. And Dick able to open up a huge gap. It's already a half second by the time they get to turn 1.
Jeff Yen shooting it up the middle. He's going to go up to P2 now. Tyler Seville on the inside. He's going to eat him alive. Kevin Dick is now a sitting duck. I think he can hold off one car, but I don't know if he can hold off two.
Oh, they're making contact in the middle of 3 and 4. It looks like we may get
Will
back to the white flag.
starting to slide around.
There's the white flag.
Is out. Jeff Yen is your leader.
Oh, hold on to it. McConville way to the inside.
Wall. It's going to be Jeff Jens versus Tyler Seville. Does Jens hit the brakes and let Seville get the points, or does he hold out and try and keep Johnny Avila in this fight?
Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. This race is not over yet. Hunter Waters going to be right there. Dives for the inside. Checkered flag is out. Jeff Yenish.
Your ringer is going to win it.
Kansas. What a drive by Hunter Waters. He comes home second. Tyler Seville, AJ Digby, and Max Williams round out your top 5. And there's the junked race car of Mike McConville. Let's take a look here and see what happened to Mike McConville. Little bit of contact from AJ Digby. Oh! And then Andrew Moore got a big piece of it as well. That's a very tough break for Andrew Moore, who was top 5 in points.
And still, we see all the WWR guys up there at the front just hanging out and celebrating the win with them.
What a finish. Jeff Yenish gets the win. Let's show you your full race results here. Jeff Yenish over Hunter Waters by 0.096 seconds. The rounding calls it a 10th. We'll take it at the line. Tyler Seville, AJ Digby, Max Williams completes your top 5. Justin Sumner, Tim Knott, Will Worsler, Jacob Williams, and Kevin Dick back through the top 10 positions. 11 to 15, Evan Black, Richard Smith, Rick Javorka, Troy Haight, and Andrew Moore. Moore, the final car to finish on the lead lap tonight. Mike McConville coming home in 16th, 17th to Daniel Pinkston, 18th Scotty Grove, 19th Tony Patton, and 20th Corbin Simmons. Corey Silva, Zach Calloway, Brad Allison, and Richard Fletcher will round out the field. Just another gut-wrenching night for Richard Fletcher. The comments coming in here from Johnny Avila.
That Johnny Avila, I am with you. I was screaming so hard at the end of that race. I spilled my drink over and it started spraying everywhere. I was like spraying the champagne all over my sim rig, calling that finish. That was fantastic.
Absolutely epic finish to this one here tonight. Hunter Waters burning them down as well, still on the front stretch. That's one of my favorite parts of these guys. You get the Will Worsler Racing crew that celebrates as a team here.
You know what? They win as a team, they lose as a team, but hell, there's so many of those guys. They have been doing a lot more winning than losing this season. And last season, too. Those guys are fantastic. They have the communication down. They've got everything down.
Yeah, it was really impressive here. And let's see. Patrick, if you could handle taking care of dragging all of our podium finishers up here.
Absolutely. Let me get that ready. I've got to finish up cleaning up the champagne from this finish.
Something tells me that's the champagne of beers that was spilled all over Patrick's.
It was not the
desk here.
champagne of beers, actually. It was a Sapporo. It's a beer from Japan. We just got Fuji Speedway on iRacing. I figured I'd celebrate that way.
That's one way to do it. Twisted Auto Sports checking in saying, congrats, Jeff, Hunter, Tyler from P&P Lawn Care. Yeah, P&P Lawn Care putting up some extra cash here tonight. $15 to your race winner, Jeff Yenish. $10 to runner-up Hunter Waters, and $5 going out the door to third place, Tyler Seville. And Mike McConville is hot. We'll say it that way. And maybe a little understandably so. A little bit of we'll say a chop here towards the end of the race, but actually we have all of our guys are right here together. Let's bring in our race winner into the booth first. And we'll start our podium interviews with Jeff Yenish, our race winner. Good Lord, man. Talk us through. You had to be kind of foaming at the mouth a little bit when you saw the caution flag come out, knowing that you were at least going to have a shot.
Yeah, how you guys doing? Yeah, that was an awesome finish. I definitely needed that caution there at the end to have a shot, and really had to do the two-tire call there even to get the track position. I got a little bit of damage, wasn't quite up to speed, even a little bit newer tires than some of the guys behind me there. So I had to take a gamble and somehow paid off there.
So you did that on two tires. I have a question I want to ask you then. I have not driven this car much on two tires, so I can't provide any insight as to what that's like. Is it like the Gen 6 car where the car is super snappy loose and real hard to drive, or is it still manageable, still kind of quick? What's your insight on the two-tire strategy?
Yeah, I was kind of expecting to be real snappy loose, so I didn't put any fuel in at the end there, so I only had about a quarter tank left. I think that tightened it up a little bit off the corner, which is what I was concerned about. It actually handled pretty well. It was just a little bit tight through the center of the corner, actually. I got kind of lucky. They were battling side by side without me because I couldn't keep my momentum up quite as well as they could.
So two tires much more manageable on this new car?
Yeah, at least for a two-lap run. I don't know if I would have done that for a long run, that's for sure.
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear.
I'll tell you what, man, that was an absolutely incredible drive, picking up the Hard Charger of the Race Award, gaining 18 spots. Talk us through the whole night here. I mean, it was the car obviously was quick, but you really had to run from almost back to front in this one, too.
I did, yeah. Obviously, this is my first race with these guys in quite a while. I used to run ASRS for a while and then had to work Wednesdays and couldn't really do this league anymore, but Johnny Vela couldn't make it, so I kind of borrowed his car for the night. Slapped a different number on it, and seemed to have the extra 50 horsepower Johnny seems to enjoy all the time, so that was kind of nice. But yeah, just kind of worked my way up through the field, slowly but surely there the first stage. The caution obviously came out. I was hoping it wouldn't. I really had enough gas to make it to the end of the first stage and was trying to get the field or the track position there after the caution. But yeah, just kind of was patient, worked my way up, and then found myself up front, what mattered most.
All right, Jeff. Well, congratulations on the race win here tonight. And before we let you go, you got any sponsor plugs and thank yous you'd like to get in?
Yeah, I'll thank Johnny's sponsor, Bulldog. I forgot what it is, Bulldog Roofing or something. Thanks to those guys for supporting the league, and thanks to Will Worsler Racing for letting me run with them tonight. It was a lot of fun.
All right, bud. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And let's bring in a guy we talked to a little bit earlier tonight, Mr. Hunter Waters. And man, I'll tell you what, Hunter, the car was good, but it really was a lot of work for you to get the car up there tonight, coming home 10th in the final standings. Impressive drive for you, bud.
Yeah, definitely happy with the second place finish. Didn't necessarily think I was second place speed tonight. I tried to kind of play strategy a bit, really take care of the tires, and like I say, just keep an extra set and a good set for the middle of the run, an extra set for the end of it. So kind of just ended up working out, I guess.
That extra set of tires late in the run was absolutely critical to your success in being able to be up here in second tonight. Did you think you would have a shot at Jeff on the restart, or did you think that was maybe where it would have to come, or did you think you would be able to get him at the white flag lap?
Well, so honestly, with this new Geico restart zone, I'm definitely, getting used to those restarts. It's hard for me to get a jump. I felt like second gear was low, so you kind of have to be jumping the start big time to really get a good jump on anybody else. If we had one more lap, maybe. I know Jeff was on 2 tires, right sides only, while I was on 4 at the end, so who knows. But he definitely was really fast, so, awesome for him to come in out of nowhere, repping Johnny Avila with the paint scheme, and, of course, that thing finds victory lane. It seems like there's just something to it, don't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, are you going to change your paint scheme next week?
That's what I just asked, I think it was Will, how much I got to pay to run this thing, because it seems to be the ticket to success for everybody, don't it?
Man, I'll tell you what, your car looks pretty darn spectacular, too. Go ahead, Patrick.
I was going to say, I got a question for you. At any point in this race tonight, do you find yourself in a pickle?
I think most of the race I'm always in a pickle. At least that's what I create the mentality for myself. But like I say, the car, I was decently fast. I came in here with not too much practicing with the updates and everything to the car. I was unsure. Didn't get much post-update practice. And I didn't really feel that good about Kansas. But I'm one of those guys, I don't really qualify too well, kind of learn as the night goes on. And I just really try to maximize as best I can and try not to make mistakes. But sometimes the skill level kind of takes over for that, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on the second place finish here tonight. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, definitely. Firstly, got to shout out Johnny. He misses a week and somehow still looks like he wins. Shout out Jeff for winning. Everybody in Will Worsler Racing. Me and Tyler, AJ getting a good finish there. Shout out my coworker Brian Jones. Shout out everybody at Law Chevrolet Buick. Awesome guys there. If you need a vehicle, hit us up. And thank you to everybody up in the booth. You guys put on a fantastic broadcast. I absolutely love it. Shout out Sam and Jordan, fantastic admins. And shout out Jordan for the pickle paint. If you need a paint, hit up Jordan Berry, Facebook Custom Paints and Designs.
Oh, buddy, thank you much, sir. We appreciate that. And let's bring in our third place finisher tonight here, Tyler Seville. And man, I'll tell you what, bud, that car was everywhere from an absolute rocket ship fast to kind of hanging back a little bit. Second on the board in terms of laps led. Not a bad night for you on a night that you really could make up a little bit of ground on, Johnny.
Yeah, great night. I was kind of hopeful that since Johnny wasn't here, maybe a win would come easier, but that 63 paint scheme, you just can't stop it no matter where we go, it seems.
I'm going to have to ask him for that paint scheme because a lot of people so far have said it's due to the paint scheme. I'm going to start running that. I'm going to run that in officials now.
I think all of WWR might be running that paint scheme next week.
See a 5-wide finish.
I was going to say that's exactly what I need is 5 cars identically painted with barely a number difference on the side. That would go over well. What are the thoughts here now as we start to turn the corner a little bit towards the second half of this, we'll call it the spring schedule here, heading off to Charlotte next week for the Oval, Gateway, and then the Daytona Road Course before we get the 4th of July weekend off. Are you confident in these tracks? What's the kind of thought process there?
So I absolutely love Charlotte. So I'm hoping Charlotte's another repeat of today, but with a better finish. AJ and I put in a good amount of practice for this track, and we knew the bottom was going to work. I'd say Gateway's probably the biggest curveball in the next 3 races. I think as a team overall, Will Worsler Racing is pretty good on the road courses, so I expect us all to go there and run really well. But so far, the way iRacing changed this next-gen car, I think we had a lot of great racing tonight, and I'm certainly looking forward to the next few weeks.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it as well, brother. Thank you very much for checking in with us here. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, shout out to Huntington Bank and Arch Telecom, my sponsors. Then I have to shout out my teammates. We were all really fast at some point today. Had Richard, AJ, Will Hunter, Johnny at home. And then Jeff, being the ringer, came in here today and taught us all something about taking 2 tires.
Yeah, apparently that part was interesting. So congratulations again, Tyler. Looking forward to talking to you again soon here. And man, I'll tell you what, Patrick, you're over there spilling drinks all over yourself. I'm screaming like a knucklehead. That was fun, man.
There's not many races where I absolutely waste an entire drink on myself without it going into my body. So I'd say that one was a damn good one. You have the ringer come in and just show everyone how it's done. Johnny Avila, he picked a good one to substitute for him. And I hope we see Jeff Jens back at least another couple races, even just as a ringer. See if he could still do it when he's not in those 63 colors.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be a pretty big shakeup in the point standings as well here. With the final lap contact, Kevin Dick finishing in the 10th position after leading the most lap tonight. He entered the night second in points, 35 back of Johnny Avila. Roger Rios not even entered in the race tonight. He was third in points. Andrew Moore getting caught up in the incident with Mike McConville on the last lap. He finishes 15th. Tyler Seville in 5th could be your biggest gainer of the night out of the 5th position. And oh, by the way, there's Hunter Waters as well. This really was almost as much wild card as it was typical mile and a half.
Now, one thing I'd like to mention is this the turnaround for Richard Smith? This is the first race, at least that I can remember this season, that he hasn't gotten taken out yet. Sure, the first half of the season, or of the year-long season, might not be his, but as we round around into the second half, could his luck be on the upswing, and could he shake up the championship a little bit?
That will be a storyline to follow over the next handful of weeks. Race number 6 is in the books. There are still 7 more to go, I believe, here in the Season 1 2022 Spring Season Championship. Entering the night, Synergy Esports was your team points leader. Will Worsler Racing was 40 back. Man, let me tell you, yes, this is going to be an exciting teams championship. And we got to get the comment up here from Mike McConville. Like you say, frustrated to say the least. Will be headhunting the remainder of the season. You know what? The contact was probably not real good between AJ Digby and Mike McConville. It was a big-time squeeze down to the apron.
Mike, I will tell you this. If you're going to go headhunting, you get the same penalty if you take him out and flip him over, or if you just kind of gently shunt him into the wall. Do with that information as you will.
Yes, that is exactly right. But with that, it is time for us to get the heck on out of here. We have got a big night of action coming up tomorrow. The High Side Hustle featuring our interview with Chase Stockin, previewing the Eastern Storm, heading into Pennsylvania, New Jersey next week for the Stars and Cars of the USAC National Sprint Car Tour. Going to follow that up with the Ezra IndyCar Series, heading to the streets of Belle Isle, which, quite frankly, I am very, very much looking forward to. The DW12's always put on a pretty good show up there in Detroit. That will be the Ezra IndyCar Series coming up at 8:30. Billy Fenno checking in the comments saying, don't give him ideas. Mike McConville replies with, he's going to the grandstand. Yes.
Wilson! Over the catch fence, out of the park.
That's about what it sounds like. But with that, it is time for us to get the heck on out of here. For Patrick Byrne and everybody that makes these broadcasts happen on the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.